Hello and welcome to the Astrology in You podcast. I'm Kerry Hourigan and today we'll be looking at the full moon in Aries coming up on the 9th or 10th of October 2022, the forming grand trine in the air signs and other interesting planetary placements. But firstly, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original land carers, the Awabakal people, where this podcast is recorded. I give my deepest respect to elders past, present and emerging and acknowledge sovereignty has never been ceded. So just a reminder, you can get a free mini astrology report that includes a very detailed birth chart from Astrology in You. I created a video to show you how you can create a free birth chart with transits at astro.com. That way you can follow along with any astrology that you're doing. You can find the podcast on iTunes, and any resources mentioned in the podcast will have links in the show notes below. If you receive the newsletter, you will have access to the full moon in Aries through the houses. And as you can imagine, there are countless interpretations, as this depends on your own situation and what house this is falling in. So I've put together some general interpretations that will help you understand the energies better. So the full moon in Aries is coming up on the 9th or 10th of October 2022 at 16 degrees and 32 minutes, depending on your location. And to see where this specifically relates to you, look to the house or the life area this will be transiting in your own chart. Starting with the moon, in evolutionary astrology, we see the moon as our ego, our self-image. It is how we see ourselves internally. It's our subjective filter by which we view the world based on our childhood conditionings, societal conditionings, cultures and experiences. The moon is linked with our emotions and the management of them, issues of safety, our inner child, childhood itself, nurturing needs and the relationship with our parents, in particular to our mother. Full moons bring things to a culmination for release and completion. The polarity of the full moon is the new moon, and the new moon signifies the new cycle. To begin something new, you must let go of the old, which is what the full moon helps us to do. Aries is a cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars. It is the first sign of the zodiac and rules the first house, where we experience the separation to forge new ground and to try new things, gaining independence and courage for one's own sense of being. As Aries follows Pisces, where we return back to the original source, Aries initiates the need to participate in life. We can think of Aries as the birth and Pisces as the womb. In Aries, we develop our own unique way of being in life instead of passively remaining in the womb, which would be Pisces. In Aries, we find courage and bravery to face life's challenges. Generally, Aries is associated with impulse, beginnings, excitement, passion, creativity, and taking action. It is brilliant at getting things off the ground, very entrepreneurial, and while these are some of the attributes, we also look at the shadow side. And the distortion of Aries can be anger, being combative, warlike, self-absorbed and self-centered, not finishing what one has started, speaking without thinking and acting without thinking. But this can also be very empowering when you are consciously aware of these things. The polarity of Aries is Libra, where we can receive feedback from others. Whether we pay attention and listen to others is really up to us. And this feedback can provide information to either course correct or continue on our way and bring more balance and boundaries to our life. Otherwise, Aries can just continue on and needs to be reined in to recalibrate and look at our position. The full moon in Aries allows us to illuminate what needs to come to a culmination stage so one can continue on their path. The moon wants the emotional support to feel safe, and combined with Aries, this can be very challenging, and these two energies have to learn to get along. As our emotions need to be digested and processed, when we act without any forethought, we deny ourselves the emotional process. Here we can see why Aries rules the skull area, adrenal glands and adrenaline, where our temper can flare and we can become hot-headed. The ruler of Aries, Mars, is sitting in Gemini, helping us with the communications around our siblings, initiating diversity and trying different things depending on what house or life area Mars is transiting. The Sun is in Libra, making us more aware of the people in our lives, raising our consciousness, continuing and improving the health of our supportive relationships. And it may even signify a time of letting go and to bless and be appreciative of relationships that have come to an end. Chiron is also in Aries, and it conjuncts the full moon, indicating a more personal healing for us to have a new beginning of sorts. Perhaps something that will require courage to do so, and this also includes looking at ourselves. Chiron is the wounded healer, and whatever your hurt is, it is time to look at it and let it go. There is also a grand trine that is forming in the air signs with Saturn in Aquarius, the Sun and Venus in Libra, and Mars in Gemini. And these are stimulating ideas, concepts, and bringing information to you that you may not have been aware of. So pay attention to that. So nurturing ourselves with the full moon in Aries, well, medically, Aries rules the skull area, adrenal glands and adrenaline, as I said before, sexual organs, vitality, inflammation, cuts, and our immunity response. So here are some suggestions, and they're fairly general. So start a meditation practice to reconnect you with your soul or the God within. Review, resolve, and release what holds you back. Engage with your imagination and creativity. Be in nature where possible and have courage to venture on new ground. Look after your health and take time to allow your emotions to digest and process properly. When you feel the need to act on that impulse in a negative way, take a breath, take time, remove yourself if possible from that situation to allow your emotions to calm down. So listen to your heart's intelligence. It is the center of your truth. We connect through our hearts with every living thing, each other, the cosmos, and the original source itself. Be in the higher emotions of hope, gratitude, joy, relief, appreciation as much as you can, as this affects the frequencies that we vibrate at. And for some people, this is very hard to accept this concept. But if you just notice, when we are in these higher vibrations, we attract more of the same. When we are in the dense emotions of fear, anger, and anger is important, it has its place, but it is when that anger can be very destructive and negative is where it keeps us in those dense vibrations. It's like walking through wet concrete. And this leads to feelings of despair and unworthiness, and you will attract more of that as well. So really be appreciative. Even when things happen to you that you don't like, look for the good. And I was only having a conversation with a couple of my friends only recently, where no matter how bad a situation is, there is good to be found, and I encourage you to go and look for it. So thank you for listening. I welcome all the new subscribers, and thank you to my existing subscribers. I'm always thrilled to think that we connect all over the world. In saying that, take care of yourself. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.